Hello, thank you for joining us on Thursday's edition of Journalist Hangout. I am Veronica Danikwoy. Today on the Hangout, EFCC recovers 17 cars from former customs boss. Osinbajo withholds assent to 4 bills passed by the National Assembly. An INEC report on Rivers rerun indicts police and others. Joining me in the studio is Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Charles Ideho, and Wega Akoshili. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you.
Journalist Hangout starts now. Yemi Osinbajo has withheld assent to 4 bills passed by the National Assembly. The bills are Dangerous Drug Amendment Bill 2016, National Lottery Bill 2016, Currency Conversion Freezing Order Amendment Bill 2016, and Agricultural Guaranteed Credit Scheme Bill 2016. Senate President Bukola Saraki disclosed the development at the Senate plenary on Wednesday while reading Osinbajo's letters separately conveying the refusal of assent to each of the bills. In the meantime, the Senate has vowed to override the acting president's decision, adding that it will first consult its legal team for advice. Wega, were you expecting this reaction from the Senate?
Well, honestly, I should expect it from them. And don't forget that the Nigerian Senate, as it were, as we have in other sectors of Nigeria's leadership, is filled with people with over-bloated egos. And I doubt if many of them don't really know that they would be there. Many of them did not prepare to be there, and when they talk, one is not usually surprised at some of the utterances or the statements that are usually credited to them. The president has a right to do what he has done. Yeah, I don't want to use acting. Well, whether acting or...
Yeah, he has the presidential powers.
He has the presidential powers. The president has the powers to do what he has done. And the man gave reasons for withholding assent to these bills. And I think what the Senate needs to do is go back to those bills. What you've inserted, the incorrect usage. I think the one, the lottery.
Yes, seems to be the bone of contention.
Yeah, the certain words or the way it was phrased that day. And don't forget that the acting president is a lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria, and not just that, he's a law teacher, he's a professor. So the man understands every language of the law. So he carefully studied, and it's not a rubber stamp person. There are so many people in leadership positions, just as we have in America today, that you take an action, then you begin to explain later, and then you begin to fight with people because they know better than you do. Now, this man does not want to fall victim of that. He carefully studied all of these and
give explanation.
Yeah, and give explanation. And to me, and that's why the talking room is not very wide for many of us, even in journalism. You know what excites in the newsroom, what excites in the media is if the president had made a mistake, then we will feed fat on it. But this man is a very careful person, so to speak, and I think it was a very calculated decision.
Charles, do you share the same view that this decision by the acting president, looking at the fact that just last week he assented to 7 bills and seeing just those 4 bills, he says, no, some things are wrong. And then we begin to get reactions saying that to an extent, one of the legislators or senators rather had to come to say this is some form of usurping powers.
Well, that's just that I share Binga's submission. When you take a look at it, when you look at the way our senators carry out their business, sometimes I even feel ashamed. And yes, it's not national television, I must say it. I feel ashamed when they get up to say certain things. I say, are these the people who are making laws for us as Nigerians? Some of us can do better, I'm telling you. Some of us, GD, all of us can do better. But they just have the privilege of being there today. Now, the president has said there are certain aspects of this bill that are ambiguous. And in the business of lawmaking, you must make sure there are no ambiguities. Because when you have passed the process of the first reading, second reading, and then you have passed the bill, you now want the president to assent to it to become law. It must then allow the president to take a look at it. You don't have to have a president that will just assent to any bill without even going through. Now, the Constitution has vested upon the lawmakers the business of lawmaking. Now, the Constitution also has given to the president that also, if we have to go through it, we can assent to it. So, even us that studied English, we call test linguistics. When we were in school those days, we were told that even a word like sorry, you can deduce of about 6 minutes. Someone will tell you sorry. That's a different meaning. Sorry, you. Oh, sorry. Sorry. You, yes. 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 Oh, yes. They have different meanings. But you must be very sure that once you are forming like a law, the language must be expressly stated and unambiguous. Because once it becomes law, and then it's binding on us. When you want to enforce it, then you now have this constitutional crisis. Who do you blame? So the president, you assented to any law that is really true. I think the legislature and all of us should be happy that now we have in Oshiba, the acting president, somebody who is very meticulous to look at the law before he assent to. After all, he didn't withhold his assent arbitrarily. He has said these are the reasons.
There are concerns.
Concern, exactly. Concerns. That's the way I see it.
All right, Jide, we need your reaction to this matter.
I think that these days, every time I see a news item, especially about the Senate, and a certain character by the name of Dino Mela, he gets up to talk. My blood begins to boil because he likes to draw attention to himself for the wrong reasons. The National Assembly shouldn't be a place for attention seekers. It should be a place for people who measure their words before uttering those words. Dino Melaye said yesterday that it is the duty of the executive to pass any bill sent to it.
Yeah, he said that.
Now, I mean to assent to any bill.
Without looking at it, can you imagine that?
And then after he spoke, a certain Sekibo, a senator from the PDP Rivers, now said, see, yes, there is separation of powers. But if the fact that a case is in court will not impede, will impede the signing of this bill into law, then we have to take things easy.
Yeah.
I've said it that some of the people who cause unnecessary trouble in that National Assembly are from the APC. Look at the way a PDP man spoke.
Yeah.
Somebody who just won election. Look at the way he spoke. Look at the way my own senator spoke. And you can imagine my predicament.
You are getting personal.
You can imagine. You see, the thing is, you cannot say that it is the duty of the president to sign anything sent to him
without even vetting.
Any.
Just before Jonathan left office, there was some bills sent to him, including bills meant to whittle down
Whittle
the
down the
powers
of the president.
of
Yes.
the president.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jonathan saw clearly that the president who will succeed him will become very weak. He refused to
I
sign.
didn't want it. Not for him.
He
Not for
refused to
himself.
sign.
Not for himself.
As dumb as we always say he is. He refused to sign.
Because the man has
You
to.
cannot say that. And Sekibu also said, yes, we have checks and balances. So if the duty of the president,
To sign.
according to Dino Melaye, is to sign everything you take before him,
Where are the
then
checks?
where is it?
Where is the
Where are the
check?
checks?
That's a
Where are
rubber
the
stamp.
You
checks?
see, the National Assembly, we have a National Assembly that is extremely hostile to the government of the day. But we cannot have a National Assembly that imagines itself as a Greek god with chest heaving. Anything we want, you must do it. Anything we want, you must do it. No, that will not happen. And you are dealing this time with a professor of law.
Professor of law.
There could be even some errors, because it was during Yaradua's time that I knew that, look, this National Assembly, we have the National Assembly that we have progressively, consistently, has always been full of defective characters. Because they will send the budget estimate to the president at the time, and he will return it. He will say, no, you people have tampered with this thing. He will say, this is not my budget. He kept returning it. He kept returning it because they were busy padding the budget. And what they wanted was a president who is part of the padding will just allow it to go. And Yaradua refused. Several times he returned it to them. So we can't have a robustant president. If there are, what are they even talking about when a matter has gotten even to the level of Supreme Court?
Supreme Court.
You are saying, and your
the
own law,
yeah.
And it's
So they
your
cannot
own
discuss
rules,
the matter.
your own rules say that when a matter is in court, you cannot even
He
discuss
told
it.
you this. So
So
What
why
is
are
it?
you
What is the
for a
chest
bill?
thumping about?
All right.
But you know, why wouldn't they wait for their own legal department to advise
look at
them
the-
appropriately?
And that was what he now said after that. They will
All
need
right,
to
gentlemen,
consult their legal
we
team.
need to
and all
take
that.
a break now and return to talk more on this topic. Stay with us. You're still watching Journalist Hangout, and we're looking at the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo's withholding assent to 4 bills passed by the National Assembly and the reactions we're getting from the National Assembly. And before we went on break, we were, or rather while we were on break, we were having one discussion or the other, talking specifically about a particular senator that's...
No, I just, you see, the thing is, now, see, we have a new generation of musicians.
Yes.
You see lyrical emptiness, you no doubt about
yes,
it.
only
There's
only
lyrical
only
emptiness.
beat. It's only beat.
Only
Yes.
beat.
Yes, frenzied drumming
Yes.
with little substance.
No message.
But sometimes you have a little message.
Yeah, message. Yes.
There's a certain boy who said Ariwokone music.
I said it.
And I'm saying here that Ariwokone lawmaking.
Yeah.
Lawmaking is not about noise making. Every time Dino rises up and raises his voice needlessly, and at the end of the day, you see that there's really no substance. Because this thing is not about chest thumping. Let the executive and the legislator come together.
It's the same goal.
The man has his reasons.
The same goal.
You have your reasons. When you come together, there will be a meeting point. It's not about just threatening people and just talking anyhow. And when you say that, one is being personal, I can only wish that is your lawmaker.
Oh no, not my lawmaker.
no,
Your
he
lawmaker.
won't-
No, your lawmaker.
No, he won't
Not
come.
your lawmaker.
He certainly
I
wouldn't be
am
my
a do. I am
lawmaker.
a do. I'm not Kogi, so it can't be my lawmaker.
No, we can dash you.
No, my lawmaker.
We can outsource him.
Can I
We
make-
can outsource him to
No,
you.
no, no. You see, I have president of the Senate as my lawmaker.
Oh, okay. Go
So I
ahead.
can't have double
Let's come
jeopardy.
I
can't have the president
but
and
the one
have
I'm
president.
surprised-
Like,
Let's come back to the matter.
The one I'm surprised at, Veronica.
Yeah.
Let me just quickly say this. I'm even surprised that that hallowed chamber is even legislated upon a case that is sub judice. A matter. and that they
litigation,
can,
yeah.
yes, and they're even challenging the powers of National Assembly to even legislate upon that aspect of the law.
So
and
why
they
are you
saying,
seeking
so
assent?
and people are
want
still
assent.
arguing. We want assent to
Why
that.
are you
So there shouldn't be
I'm
argument
shocked.
in the
I'm
first
shocked. I'm
place.
shocked that even the matter is even coming and somebody is thumping chest to say that the president wants to undermine the power. No, who's talking about undermining the power?
No, not even Professor
This is not.
Oshibajo. I don't see
For
him doing
even
that.
for them to come up to even be talking about this case that this matter is even sub judice, I'm shocked.
It means they don't understand.
That's what it
I think we
That
should
means
look
that
at
lawmakers
They're not going to understand
with
exactly.
the potential to break the law.
All right, let's look at let's begin to break down the bills. First, it has to do with the Agriculture Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund, and the acting president is saying that the reasons for withholding assent to the bill are the concerns surrounding board composition, funding arrangement, and the proposals to increase levels of uncollateralized loans from 5,000 to 250,000 in times like this.
That's my own. When I read it, I just said, God bless Professor Oshibajo. You understand? How can you pass a bill to the president to just rubber stamp? You know, you have uncollateralized money from, well, they raised the money from 5,000 naira to 250,000.
How many percentage
You know,
increase is that?
uncollateralized is the issue. Now, even the one that is collateralized, people
they don't pay.
They default. Okay? Look, I understand this because I happen to be doing some work with a certain the agri sector, so I understand a bit of this.
And it's implication.
People find it difficult to even pay.
Yes.
Where you have collateral. Now you're sending to the president that, oh, come and be giving us free money. And do you know the implication of this, sir? Is that these, our leaders, they're very wicked people. What they do is, they won't even advertise. For the purpose of fulfilling procurement regulation, they can put their advert in one obscure newspaper.
Yes.
At the back page, at the back,
and
hide it somewhere in the newspaper, and maybe they would, the money that the agency, the commission, the board will approve 500 million naira to be disbursed to Nigerians without collateral. The indigent. Do you know what they will do? Each one of them will allot or will allocate to themselves nothing less than 50 people.
And use fronts, yes?
And use front. 250,000 naira times 50 people.
Imagine what's going to come.
Will come to, and what they will do, the front that they will use, maybe just give the guy, you know, certain percentage, maybe 5% of it. So it's still going to be the, you know, we're going to be the same vicious cycle of, you know, embezzlement, corruption, and all that. So institutionally, the acting president is nipping it in the bud.
Yes.
So it's blocking that loophole for corruption. The potential loophole for corruption. Don't forget, this man worked as commissioner before. And this man worked, I don't want to, I mean, for fear of sounding over, he worked in an administration where they did a lot of thinking. They blocked a lot of loopholes, and the benefit is what we are seeing in the state of Lagos. Yeah. So they know what they're doing.
If they didn't block loopholes, how will the internally generated revenue of Lagos
State 30 billion
from 1 billion
from
1 billion to around 27?
Less than when they came in. Less
than
about
when the man from Kwara, the consultant from Kwara was handling maximum. Let's even say 1 billion.
And they moved it straight to 25, 27.
No, they moved it to about 15. Now from there to 20 something.
Geometrically
kept increasing.
It is 30. So they understand all of these things. And Dino Melaye that you're saying is, you know, making
grandstanding.
He also understands. You'll be surprised tomorrow. You won't be surprised tomorrow when you get to know that Dino Melaye is the chairman, the board of something lottery company.
That's Nigeria.
Mine is okay. My own is see. What Nigeria is not running a socialist economy, where the government or even communism, where the government had to, you know, be in charge of affairs of everybody. Even in communism, in socialism, they also have rules.
Of course.
Okay? Now, we are running a capitalist economy where when you make facilities available for people to go into, people take facilities, they put in their businesses. It's supposed to be a revolving loan. But in most cases, because they are not collateralized and you don't even get very stringent rules, people take this money away and it becomes something they put in their pocket and it doesn't go
The
round.
government is dashing them money. And it doesn't even get to the real people.
That's what I'm saying. You're not even saying that.
And if it doesn't go around, the project will fail.
Will fail.
It usually
because
fails
there
now.
are booby trap. Now, you're even moving this thing from even that 5,000 to 250. People have not been able to pay back the money they take for 5,000. You're not moving to even $250,000. How do you justify that?
How do you secure loans without collateral? How do you secure loans without collateral?
I don't know. It's only in Nigeria.
I was in a bank. I mean, I went to about 7 million the other day. I went to my bank. By the time they calculated, I was going to be paying back about 366,000 every month for 36 months.
You will run away.
How do I make that? I mean, somebody says you give you 250 and then no collateral. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the other bill, at Currency Conversion Freezing Orders Amendment Bill 2016. The acting president says he has concerns regarding modalities for the communication of asset forfeiture orders.
That's where the language problem is.
He talked about language.
Yes.
That look, it's very ambiguous.
Then be explicit.
This thing is very simple. If you want to write in English, write in English. Don't write in your mother's language. For me, this is what I used to tell people in the newsroom back in the day. Please don't use your mother's language to write stories for me. If you want to write simple English so that all of us will read and understand. You know, I think like Jide said, they need to come together and
harmonize these things.
All right, we have a caller on the line, JJ from Ogun State. Are you there? Go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
I believe that the people in the government are actually watching and listening to you people, you know, as you speak, because these things are things that have actually been happening in the time past. They need to understand that this is not the Jonathan's government where money,
anything goes.
You know, disbursed anyhow. It takes someone who understands the game, you know, to actually play it very well. It reminds me of when we were, you know, children. We always, when our parents drop laws, what we do is we look for another way to actually, you know, so that's actually what has been happening. And I think that's what is at play right now. Kudos to the acting president. We are solidly behind him, and may God bless him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I also prayed for the prayer for the acting. I keep calling him the president.
The acting.
The acting. They're like the Igbo man would say, that acting never master me.
Let me come to you now, Jide. Now the Senate is looking at overriding.
No, they didn't say they were.
All right.
It's just it's pure sensationalism on the part of the media to be saying that the Senate has promised to override. No, they didn't say that. They said they will consult their legal department. You know, so as long as they said they will consult their legal department, then we should expect that anything can happen. But they have not expressly stated that they will override.
All right, then what should we expect, and how would this set a tone for the relationship between the executive and the legislature?
What we want as Nigerians is good governance. And where people are not selfish and they are committed to good governance, these are not serious issues. Because these are issues that can be easily ironed out. Cases in court, shouldn't we just leave this matter for now? We can come back to it. The man didn't just withhold assent. He withheld assent with reasons. And he expects them to relate with the reasons that he has provided. So at the end of the day, I like the fact that, well, Saraki was playing the good man. And the whole thing said, then we will do this. You know, as a leader, you try to moderate things. You know, when you have people like Dino Melaye in the house, you must ask God for wisdom to be able to handle them. The other one, Kabiru Marafa, has become a lamb now. Very gentle, no longer talks. But we still have Dino in the house. So with people like that, you must find a way to calm them down. And I think Bukola Saraki showed the skills of a leader by saying, see,
Guy.
let's refer this to our legal department. The legal department will advise us. If they still want to go ahead and override the acting president's veto in a matter that has even reached the level of Supreme Court, then we will know that they are not serious people. But for me, Nigerians want good governance, and they must come together for the love of country. They must not put their own interest above even the interest of the country, because that's what it will look like at the end of the day. When you want to force bad laws down our throats, then it suggests that you are being selfish.
But that's the way it's been. I mean, we don't. I mean, that's the way.
This is a different dispensation. Nigerians did not know before.
Now we know.
No. I'm heading somewhere. Nigerians did not know that there was something called unspent funds, which ministries would distribute at the end of every year until Yaradua became president.
Gentlemen, we'll talk more about this. But we're still ahead on Journalist Hangout. EFCC recovers 17 vehicles from the home of former customs boss. We have details after this break. Stay with us. Yes, you're watching Journalist Hangout. Quickly, gentlemen, before we move on to the next topic, your last takes on previous topic. I'll start with you, Grega.
Well, I think for the first time, well, not the first time, now we're beginning to have leaders who are truly leaders. You know, in times past, what we used to have, in fact, somebody that's called the vice president a spare tire. Now, Professor Oshibajo has shown to the world that a vice president of a country is not a spare tire, is indeed a president when, you know, matters come to a head. I love what he did.
All right, Charles.
For me, is that government is about the people. One, about the people. Second, about the people. Everything about governance is about the people. By the time when the people is out of reckoning, then that government ceases to be a government. What they need to do, I am going to borrow from what Jide said. They must come together, find a ground for them to agree, so that we can move forward. It's not about the executive wants to undermine the power of the legislature, or the legislature wants to also assert their power. It's about the people, and the people must count.
All right, Jide, quickly.
Yeah, I think that I was watching the House of Reps man from Surulere, Bajabiamila, yesterday. He said in the past there will not be any communication. You just see that the bill has not been signed. Nobody will tell you anything. Yeah, exactly. But for the first time, somebody is refusing to sign a bill into law and is giving reasons. So, you know, so yes, you can disagree with him, but at least he has provided reasons. Look at the merits in what he has said. Just borrowing the words of Dogara now, let's look at the merit of what he has said.
Right.
Let's not play politics with everything. Let's look at the merit of what the acting president has said and see how we can proceed.
All right, let's proceed now. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has made another recovery. Yesterday, it recovered 17 exotic vehicles in a warehouse that belongs to a former Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Abdullahi Diko Nde. This recovery was made after an intelligence report was received by the anti-graft agency linking stolen money and properties to the former customs boss premises. Well, gentlemen, one loot too many, but then it seems the whistleblower policy is working, is yielding results. But it is 17 exotic vehicles. Grega.
Well, I must start by saying that a whole lot of Nigerians who are on this side, you know, on our side, those of us who are,
our side.
On our side. I don't know whether you're there. And those of us who are not in government, who have never been in government, who have never tasted the proceeds of, like Jide would say, proceeds of crime. A whole lot of us are frustrated. A whole lot of Nigerian people are frustrated. I was descending the staircase of my office yesterday with my staff, and I was telling them that this debate came up, and these 17 cars, and I was saying that if I see anyone who has this kind of thing, and I know whether a family member or anybody, I will blow the whistle. They were saying, no, you wouldn't do that. I said, I will, because I am a frustrated Nigerian. So this is working. look, I may even tell them I do not want that 5% or 2.5%.
Are you sure?
From 2. Yeah. You see, look, when a man is tired, when he gets tired of this fleecing, this mindless, this wicked stealing of our commonwealth, he can make, you know, any sacrifice for these people to get arrested. For goodness sake, we work hard day and night. And it does appear, I was discussing before we started the show with Charles, it does appear as if we're lazy people. It does appear as if, you know, we're not doing anything. Those people who couldn't even sit where we were sitting when we were in secondary school and the university, who managed to, you know, do some smart, some fast stuff, now look at you today and you can't even talk to them. So, and you say, I'm not going to blow the whistle? Of course I will. So, the whistleblowing policy is a welcome development and it's working. And I really want to thank the government for all this. And even though I'm bashing the government on the economic angle, I'm also praising them, you know, for what they're doing. So, the 17 cars recovered from this man, I took my time to look at them one after the other. None of this car, the value of each one of them, none of this car is less than 7 million naira. For goodness sake, what are you doing with brand new vehicle 17? Are you Land Reshitu Motors?
Well, I can answer that question, but Charles...
Or in a nick.
Or in a
Chasideo Motors.
Okay, you start selling motors. I hope you are not proceeds of crime.
This happened in Kaduna again.
Kaduna again. I mean, you had Andrew Yakubu,
now a customs boss. Are you surprised? Being a customs...
I am not surprised.
A former customs
I am
boss.
not surprised. The reason is very simple. When we took a look at the system we run gives powers to individuals and takes the power away from institutions that these individuals should pretend over. That's why I'm not surprised. The custom boss has a warehouse. Now, what were they doing when they seize cars? Ultimately, they just take these cars to individual warehouses. How was a custom boss able to do that? It means that it became more powerful than the institution. That's where we are getting wrong.
Yeah,
because if it was an institution that was so powerful, there's no way a single person can just authorize a seizure of cars and then take it straight to a warehouse without the system checking that. It means that we are still running institutions that are weak. We are playing up very powerful individuals that can just alter. They can sign anything. They can even send death warrant and then no court can come against. So what we need to do now is begin to look at our institutions, look at how we can empower institutions to work, so that whoever comes in there, we play by the rules. Look at Trump. Trump was almost going haywire, but right now
the institution is forcing him back. Yeah.
So there's no way Trump or his can just say because without a recourse to the institution. So you had a custom boss who was given his appointment to hold in trust for you and I. But what did he do? Because he had some loophole he just created and then all the goes on.
I'm told that guy, Charles,
yes.
that Deacon Day, I'm told the guy is one of the most powerful and, you know, one of the richest Nigerians, you know, living.
Yeah, of course. How? Why would it be
during
richest?
the dying days?
Why would it be richest?
I'm not saying anything.
I'm not saying anything.
Why would it be richest? In fact, I need to have about 17 or 17 cars in his guy in warehouse. Why would it be richest?
In one place.
In one place.
They've not gone to
No, that's
others.
the one we have even seen. No, the whistle is.
Have they gone to his hometown?
Are they going to his hometown? That's Kaduna. Are they going to his hometown?
Katsina.
No, Katsina.
Katsina, sorry. No, I said what they found is Kaduna now.
Yes.
How are we sure he doesn't even have a vault like his friend in Kaduna?
In Kaduna as well.
It's possible. What I was going about is they are all cars. What about the issue of currencies? They could also
Cash
have.
gifts.
So what we need to be doing, if for us to lead this thing, boys, is that we must strengthen our institutions so that anybody who gets in there will not go haywire.
But then, can we categorize this, Jide, under a monetization policy where? are you laughing?
No, because it's laughable. It's laughable.
Your question, because I knew the direction of your question, and I can imagine
You people should stop shocking me.
Good.
No, it's just a question. When
yeah,
you're in
it's
a
laughable,
position and you are asked that, okay, go with the cards.
Nobody will tell you to go with 17 cars.
17.
Even in that
He could have acquired
even
that
in
over
that
time.
person's most drunken state, he will not tell you go with 17 cars. No, nobody will do that. This man is the longest serving customs controller in history.
Okay.
He came in August 2009 and left August 2015. Nobody has ever stayed that long. Now, he's also going to leave. I mean, he's going down into history as probably the worst customs boss.
In terms of the administration.
He left, he came cancelled 13th month for customs men. You would think that we wanted to really sanitize the system and make money for the country. But what do we have? The welfare of those guys that he took away, he cornered.
pocketed everything.
You see all these assistant controller generals, they were always giving him gifts, you know. Last year, the EFCC recovered cash of 1 billion 4 million from this same man.
This same man.
Cash from him.
See,
so
that's
it's
what I
not
say.
like they've just started work on him.
Yes, you're watching Journalist Hangout. Jide, before we went on the break, you were trying to show
So I'm saying that he stopped the 13th month
Yeah.
welfare package for customs men. So you would think that it was just out to make sure that Nigeria made so much money. But the welfare of these guys that he stopped, he cornered for himself. Now, we have a customs that Abdullah Inde left behind, a customs that has not got scanners. None of their scanners is working. That's why today they are saying they are doing 100% inspection. If you have a scanner, a 1 by 40 meter articulated truck with a, what's it called, on the container, under 2 minutes it will have scanned everything. But you can imagine today without scanners are doing, it's a very tedious thing. How do you expect people to be carrying heavy equipment? They must check everything. That is the kind of customs that Abdullah Inde left behind. And under a man, under a former military officer, customs is contributing a lot more to our this now at this time.
Yeah.
The distributable income, I mean, that the state's share. Customs contribution is a lot higher than it used to be. So you have somebody who was in the system, who had the experience but chose not to work, was busy. He was busy himself with corruption. Whereas somebody came from the military. He was rejected, they called him names. But we have Ahmed Ali now blocking all the loopholes. And customs is now, contribution is a lot higher than it used to be. So you have somebody who was in the system, who had the experience but chose not to work, was busy. He was busy himself with corruption. Whereas somebody came from the military. He was rejected, they called him names. But we have Ahmed Ali now blocking all the loopholes. And customs is now contributing positively to the national purse. So it shows us that, look, we have a long way to go. The EFCC Act, Section 71, subsection B, allows the EFCC to investigate properties of individuals and determine whether the properties that you have put together can be justified
Side by
with your
side
income.
with your income.
Exactly.
So that is what they are doing. They are going after these people one after the other. And in my view, the EFCC is in the right hands under Magu. So they should leave him alone, let him continue this work one by one. We've had stories that this man even has shopping malls in Dubai and other places. Let them systematically continue
and
to go
seize,
after.
confiscate all of these shopping
Yes.
malls.
When we do that, people will know that it does not pay to steal. Especially when you steal from the rest of us. There are people today who do not know where their next meal will come from.
Yes.
There are Nigerians today who eat
Many
what
of
we
them.
call, what they now call in Kwara, gari jollof.
What is
They will
that?
just mix gari with
with
palm oil and start
And
eating.
it has got to that.
That's
Yeah.
what will
And
be reduced
somebody
to. And people are
17.
stealing mindlessly. People are stealing as if they have 2 lifetimes. God will punish all the people stealing us blind in this country.
Let's just take it easy now. We have a caller on the line. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Are you there?
Yes, Captain Obi, yes. You're calling from Lagos Offshore. Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, thanks and foremost. Just like to talk about the recent bill sent back
Okay.
by the acting president. I'd like to agree with one of your guests that the acting president is a very meticulous man. I thank him very much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, I would like you people to, with all due respect, remind Dino Melaya that where
No,
he
Melaye.
His name is
Melaye.
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 that where he is not at Osho the motor park
Thank you, sir.
at Ojo motor park.
But sir, but Osho the motor park is better now, sir.
Yeah, because anytime he speaks, I am from Anambra State,
Okay.
All right.
and my senator is Andy Uba. I thank God that he has defected to APC.
That's
Oh,
So that has made him a saint now, eh?
Dino Melaya, anytime he comes,
Melaye.
I feel very embarrassed.
honestly.
And I feel that the Senate as a house is also feeling embarrassed. They should call him to order, with all due respect. Then on the customs guy, I think he's very ungodly, very wicked, and very malicious. I think they should take him to psychiatry to examine his head.
Yeah.
Thank you, Captain Obi.
I think I could, because
Farid, I think they need to be checking people.
No, that was what Farida, the former EFCC boss. Have you forgotten?
Because
that was
we-
what
we
the
can't-
former
there's no way
EFCC
to
boss
explain.
said.
There's no way to explain this kind of looting.
Yes.
Let me
Beyond
let
the
me
fact
say
that
this.
they
Yeah,
suffer
the
from
psychiatry-
dementia.
psychosis.
If you put all most of these heads of department through
Psychiatric
psychiatric
test.
test, most of them will fail it.
They'll fail it.
I'm telling you, customs, police, immigration, you put them through psychiatry, most of them will fail it.
See,
And I
former,
was-
former
there's no way you
EFCC
can
boss.
justify this looting.
Former EFCC boss Farida Waziri said in one interview that she granted, I think the Vanguard newspaper then, that she had, of course she would have more information than the rest of us, that she had seen some reports of these guys, that she asked herself questions about the psychological
Make of us, the state of these people.
How can you go on this
Stealing spree or
stealing
something?
spree, or if we can use a word like that? How can
See, the man from my state, the federal director from my state, who kept 4 billion naira cash in his house.
and you are able to
And
sleep?
you think he knows
No,
what he's
that's
doing.
madness.
There is no way that I will keep, even if I keep 1 million in the house, I will not be able to sleep. I'll be thinking that robbers will come
I'm telling you.
and waste me and take the money away.
Apart from that, what about people around him who are hungry?
No, the thing is, you sleep in
we
your
need
house
to-
with
we
4
need
billion.
to move
for 4
forward.
billion.
And you're sleeping.
You're sleeping, you
We
wake up with the
need
next morning.
to move forward because we're running out of time. Quickly before we go to the next topic, beyond these recoveries, the EFCC need to take proactive steps. What are the steps, Gwega?
Seriously, I'm not into crime detection, but I know that these guys are well trained and they are, in good hands right now. This guy, Magu, I've forgotten his first name. Ibrahim Magu. They're doing very well since the coming of President Muhammadu Buhari, and we must recognize that.
All right.
What they need to do is not to relent on their efforts. Nigerians are very happy with with what they've done so far. We need more news like this. It gladdens my heart each time I hear that former that, or current this, or current that has been busted.
Okay.
We're very happy.
Oh, okay, but then beyond this recovery, it's like I've said, proactive steps that Nigerians can benefit from, because you see huge amounts of money rather, and then cars. How do we benefit from this?
No.
Let me say this. I said on radio, our sister station here. Let's just take, for instance, the Andrew Yakubu or Ibori loot. You build an estate, as Jide said, build a cenotaph, put in that the money for this, the proceeds of Ibori loot that was used to build this estate, for eternity, the thing will be there. That if you steal, we will take the money.
It will be a
permanent shame. Exactly.
Permanent shame for you.
For you.
And for members
of
the family.
Community, and even members of the community, that even this money, this estate you are seeing.
But that it can be contested in court.
We'll contest.
Upon conviction.
Upon conviction.
Upon conviction.
You take the money, build an estate, put it in this estate was built through the process.
Okay, are you saying this one that has now, the court has ruled that this 153 million?
The one that was forfeited,
permanently forfeited. So what is there? Nothing.
Okay, but I think you are right. They can go ahead.
Use that money.
The $153 million gotten
they use it for those I talked about.
You build national stadium. I mean, a
no,
stadium.
You can build a
estate for the IDP.
You can build a school.
You can build a school or even hospital.
And say
for
school
the
built from proceeds of crime.
From
mention the
name, and they'll put the dates. They will put it in like all this thing that they call
that would be a very drastic
words on Mabu. Exactly. They will write it. You know, when the president goes to
commission the thing, they will unveil.
They usually write that. They will permanent. Look, even old buildings, you see the person who commissioned the
long time
building.
ago, they have been there.
You look at this hotel on the way to Agege Pensinema, that Women Development Center. It was Abdul Salami's wife
that came to commission.
You know,
what about here? Adebayo
you will see it there. It's more than 20 years.
Adebayo as a minister of communication.
Proceeds of crime from
this.
Yes. Then the other one is that. Look,
we will remember, and the children too can learn. In school, their children will be taunted.
Yes.
They will almost laugh their children out of town. So the people will now know that look, it does not pay to steal. You know, our forefathers had different ways of shaming thieves. They could tie something to your buttocks, and people will be moving around the town.
Okay. Let's take this caller. Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. God bless you.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you guys are doing there. God continue to bless you.
Amen.
I want to sound my own opinion on the whistleblowing thing.
Okay.
I will encourage the system, you guys being our mouthpiece, to get it across that the whistleblowing thing should be advertised even in Yoruba and all the other dialects, even
I
agree. So that the guarding the houses, we know that they can benefit something from their master who has been stingy. So that the house gets that if he blow whistle, he can always get something out of it and get out of the poverty that his master has perpetually led.
I'm afraid that's the much we can take from you. But thank you for your contribution.
This is what he said.
I like the way.
They can still get your dividend.
Yes, at the end of the day, someone who has perpetually kept you down. You can even rise and become greater than him.
The person will be shamed. The person will be shamed.
This is a wrap up the show, gentlemen. But it has been an interesting one, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on the show. But that's all on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. Watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I am Veronica Dan Ikboy. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.